In this video, I want to show you how to calculate area of different classes of water quality parameter using ArcGIS. After analyzing your water quality parameters in the lab and you have used it to generate your water quality map, how do you calculate the area of each classes of the water quality parameter map generated? So in ArcGIS, for example, I have this map for nitrates. For better view, let me change the symbology and also classify it. So to do that, I'll right click the layer and open the properties. When it opens, under symbology, click on classify. Then select the number of classes you want, let's say 7, and then choose your color ramp and click on OK. Yes, you can better appreciate the distribution of nitrates in the study area, so you can see it. After you have generated your map like this map was generated through the process of interpolation using IDW interpolation technique. Now we want to calculate the area occupied by each class of this parameter. So to do that, the first thing to do is to check the coordinate reference system of this very map. And to do that, come to the layer, right click and click on properties. When it opens, come to source, and here you can see the cell size is 0.0002 by 0.0002. This is to tell you that this is geographic coordinate system, and if I scroll down, you can see it here. The unit is in degree and there is no linear units, and the coordinate system is geographic coordinate system. So as it is, we will not be able to calculate the area in this format. So we will need to project this very data to UTM, or projected coordinate system. And to do that, let me close this page. Come to search. This icon is search icon. Then here, search for project raster. Click on search. Then you can see project raster under data management tools. Click on it. Then come to input raster. Our input raster will be the nitrates. Then you can see the input coordinate system is geographic coordinate system. So we want to project it. Then our output raster, click here and navigate to your working folder. So let's just save it here as nitrate projected. Then click on save. Yes, there is an error because the name is too long, so let's abbreviate it to project. Then click here. Yes, it has accepted it. So our output coordinate system, in the previous video I've shown you how to visualize what time zones in ArcGIS, so you can watch the video to easily identify where your data belongs to, the zone it belongs to. This very data I'm working with belongs to UTM zone 32 north. So once you know where your data belongs to, it will be easier for you to set it here. If you don't know it, just go and watch the video so that you'll be able to identify where, or the zone where your data belongs to. So I know the zone this data belongs to. I'll click on this icon to select the zone. It's under my favorite, but if the zone is not under your favorite, what you need to do is to come to projected coordinate system. Then scroll down and come to UTM. Then scroll down and come to WGS 1984. Then come to the hemisphere where your data belongs to. In this case, my data belongs to northern hemisphere. I'll click to expand it. Then I will locate UTM zone 32 north, which is this one. Here is it. I'll click to select it and click on OK. You can see that it has captured it. Then after that, leave other thing at default and click on OK. So this will reproject or project this raster for me. From there, I'll be able to calculate the area of each class. and before then there's another process I will need to execute, which is called reclassification. So I'll show you very soon. Yes, it has been projected. You can see it here. Now let me remove this original one. To verify it, just right click and click on properties. Then come under source. You can see the cell size is 24.1 by 24.1. That is in meter. Then if I scroll down, you can see that the coordinate system is now UTM zone 32 and the linear unit is in meter. You can see it here. So which means we can now work with this. Then let me close it. Now we can also classify it. To do that, right click and click on properties. Then come under symbology. Here, instead of straight, click on classified and click on yes to create or compute the histogram. Then after that, select the number of classes you want, let's say 7, and then choose your color and click on OK. So we are ready to carry out our exercise. Now the first thing to do is to reclassify your data based on standard. Now let me show you something. For nitrates, the permissible limit is 10 milligram per liter. This is the permissible limit of nitrate in drinking water, 10 milligram per liter. But if you look at our data, you can see that it ranges from 0.006 up to 33.99. You can see that this data exceed the permissible limits, which means we will need to reclassify to extract the permissible area or to identify the area that has permissible limits from area that has concentration that is higher or above the permissible limits. So to do that, having established that the permissible limit for nitrate in drinking water is 10 milligram per liter, so what to do is to reclassify your data. And to do that, come to Arc Toolbox and come to Spatial Analysis tool. Then scroll down and come to Reclass. Then here you can see Reclassify. Double click to open the Reclassify tool. Then our input raster, click on the drop down and select the projected nitrates layer. Then here click on Classify, and then the number of classes is going to be 2 because we want to differentiate between area that has permissible concentration from areas that have concentration that is above the permissible limit. So select here and choose 2 classes. Then here put the permissible limits, and I've shown you that it is 10 milligram per liter. So in that case, we are going to input 10 here. Then leave the last one as it is and click on OK. Then click here to navigate to your working folder and save the output raster. So let's save it here as nitrate permissible limits. Then click on Save and click on OK. So this will reclassify this map into 2. Yes, it is done. I can now close this page. Now if you look here, the value 1 is the one that represents area that has permissible limit, while 2 represent area of higher concentration, which means all this green area has concentration that is more or above the permissible limits. Only this brown area has concentration that is within the permissible limits. So now to calculate the area, this is what you need to do. First, try to know the cell value of this raster. So to do that, right click the layer and click on properties. Then come to source, and here you can see the cell value. So just copy the cell value, right click and copy it because we are going to use it very soon. Then you can now close this page. Now to calculate the area of each of these classes, so what you need to do, right click and open the attributes table of this layer. Then here take note of this field called count. Then to calculate the area of each of these class, click on the table option. Then we want to create about 2 fields. So the first field we want to create is the field to show the one that is within the permissible limit and the one above the permissible limit. So click on add field. So the field name, let's call it status for example, and then the type, click on the drop down and select text, and the length, let's just say 30, and click on OK. So now the second column or field we want to create is the one we will use to calculate the area. So for that one, click on table option and click on add field. So let's just call it area. Then the type, click here and select double and click on OK. So for the first one, for us to be able to edit it, we have to put this layer in edit mode. So to do that, come to the layer, right click and come to edit feature and click on start editing. Now it is in editing mode, so we can now edit the attribute table. So for the first one, this one represent area within permissible limits. So let's just call it within limits. Then the second class are the areas that is above limits. So let's just call it above limits. Now to calculate the area, let me show you the formula of calculating this area. Here is the formula to calculate area in square kilometer. The area in square kilometer, when you are calculating raster area, is equal to pixel count multiplied by pixel size square divided by 1 million. That is if you are calculating in square kilometer. So remember this pixel count and pixel size. So for the pixel size, I've shown you earlier on, but let me show you again. Just right click and click on property. Then come to source, and this is the cell size. So copy it, right click and copy it. Then you can close this page. To calculate the area, right click on top and click on feed calculator. Then the formula is equal to open brackets is equal to cell count multiplied by cell size. So right click and paste the cell size I copied, multiply by cell size. Then close the bracket, all divided by 1 million. So because I'm calculating in square kilometer, so then click on OK. Yes, let me adjust this. Here is the area occupied by each class of water quality parameter, that is nitrate in this case we are calculating. So what we can do now is to copy this to Excel and do simple statistical analysis. So highlight all, right click and copy selected. Then open Excel, right click and paste. So you can see it here. So let me increase the font, make it bold and increase it for you to see it very well. Yes. Now what we can do is this. Select all and auto sum it. This is the total sum. Now to calculate the percentage occupied by each of these class, just come here and enter this formula is equal to this divided by the total sum. You can close brackets, multiply by 100, and here I will open the brackets and I can put $sign here and $sign here as well, and hit on enter key. So you can see I can just drag this one to give me the value for the second class. Then I can just drag here, it will be 100%. So you can see that the area where the concentration of nitrates is within specified limits is just about 4 0.5%, whereas the area that has concentration of nitrates above the specified limit is about 95.5%. So going back to our map, let me clear selection and close this. So you can see that area that has concentration of nitrates that is within limits specified is just 4% or 4.5%, while the remaining one, 95.5%, is above the limit. This is how to calculate the area of each classes of water quality parameter in ArcGIS. If you like this video, kindly subscribe. Thank you for watching. And if you have questions, let's know in the comment section.